Hello and welcome to the third race of the GTTCC. So this race we're starting again from pole. Managed a pole time of a 1 minute 54.662 if memory serves me correctly. So starting from pole like we did in the race one, we just need to have a better start this time around. So what I'm trying to do is not use traction control because it's going to bog me down. So floor the revs, and when the lights go out we're going to step off the accelerator a little bit just to control the wheel spin, and that actually looks like a perfect start. We're actually pulling away from second place, which is Steve again, and the BMW's actually had a very good start again, and we're actually pulling away. So going down in the first corner, going in way too deep. We actually get a nudge there from Steve, but I'd already made the mistake. I've gone in way too deep into there, and we're just dropping places now, all the way down to 6. So again, I got a pole position. This time I got a great start, but I absolutely overcook it into the first corner, and we're all the way down to 6. Our main competitor Steve is up to first, so we're defending here from the Lexus, which I know is a Lexus now, not a Mazda like we said last time. Down into the second corner, getting snagged up here. Oh, and we get a better exit than the Irishman, so we flip to the inside and try and go down the inside of FaithlessEmo too. Both braking, both giving each other enough space here. Powering out here, again leaving enough space on the outside to make sure both cars can get through. Into the second FaithlessEmo, and the Irishman goes a lot deeper. We give him enough space, but that's really compromised him, and he actually loses out to the Lexus as well. So now we're back up to 5th, and we need to chase down the guys ahead. Going up for the first time up to the Ascari chicane. Looks like Steve is starting to pull a bit of a gap already, but they are quite close just behind him. This race is going to be very much about trying not to get penalties from small mistakes. You can see up there the American getting a penalty for cutting a small part of the Ascari chicane, and we're going down into the Parabolica for the first time. Parabolica is very much about trying to get the exit, and as you can see the American there running very wide on his first attempt in there. Doesn't look like it slowed him down too much, but it looks like, yeah, he got a small penalty for that. So now we just need to concentrate on trying to catch up these guys and effecting a pass on them. Go down the main straight, we're kind of in between everybody, not getting caught behind. Looks like the American's actually serving a bit of his penalty, and I wasn't quite sure what to do there as he came out of Ghost. So I kind of went a bit more cautious than I could have gone, so I wasn't sure that he's going to pop out the Ghost, and typically I get a penalty. This race is all about getting penalties. I think the whole race I tried too hard, and there I tried to be cautious and ended up with a penalty. Maybe next time I should be a bit more aggressive. But getting the slipstream of both the Mustang and the BMW, again I'm playing cautious. I don't want to cause a collision, and the Mustang makes a small mistake there and runs wide in the second chicane, so that's an easy pass. Now we're up to, oh, okay then, that's cool, another penalty. So now we're up to 4th, but we've already got 5.5 seconds worth of penalties, which is absolutely fantastic. Looking at the BMW, there's not really enough braking zone into FaithlessEmo 2, but it does run a little bit wide. We managed to get a good exit, and we're alongside the BMW. And there we go, yeah, with the extra oomph from getting out of that corner there, we managed to pass the BMW before we even get to the tunnel before the Ascari chicane. So now 2.5 seconds ahead. We need to catch the guys ahead without getting too many penalties, if any at all. So I'm fast forwarding this just a little bit just to speed up the video. You can see the penalties rising now to 11 seconds, but we are catching up on APA. Going into the Ascari chicane, we're catching up quite a lot on their brakes into that corner there. Both cars pushing it very hard through there, and we're right in the slipstream of the Megane. As we know from the first 2 races, this Megane is fast in a straight line, but if I can catch its slipstream, we are getting sucked along here, and we're looking for a move into the Parabolica. Brake hard on the brakes there. It's a very tight line there, and we just end up going way too deep into it, running wide, using the extra bit of road there that the Mustang went on lap 1, and we actually end up further behind than we was before the corner, which isn't great, but at least we done fastest lap so far, and we're moving forward. We've cut the gap to Steve down to 2 seconds. So we need to try again and see what we can get from APA. So getting down hard on the brakes, into the first chicane there, going to the first corner. APA misses the second apex there, but he's getting good traction out of there. Now this looks like we might be close enough to get this slipstream. So let's try and tuck in here through the Curva Grande and see if we can, it looks like he's already thinking about going defensive into the second chicane. Now he's pulling back over to the racing line. Have a look, but there, I'm not going to brave it down into there. It's just, oh, he does run wide though, and we managed to get a better exit on the exit. Tries to cut across to stop us, but we both get a penalty through that chicane. I didn't really see a lot wrong from either of us, but we're down the inside on the first LSMO, and we've managed to complete the pass by the first LSMO. Looking to the second LSMO, it's going to be a brave dive down there because the braking section is just not that big there. So now what we need to do, we need to catch Steve down. We need to start putting these laps in and try and pull away from APA as well. Now I know that's going to be hard because of that Megane being so fast in a straight line, but it looks like we are managing to pull away. That is the second chicane, and then what happens here is that sign decides to, well, it's not a sign, it's a barrier, completely screws us up. Now I couldn't do anything about APA. I know he bumped into the back of me, but I was just a sitting duck, as you saw there. Come into the corner, and I didn't expect it to bounce me out that much. But it's meant we've lost out to Steve, and APA's managed to catch up. So he's sat in the slipstream for the last lap or so, and you can see coming into Lesmo 1, he's right on the radar down in the bottom right hand corner. Lesmo 2, again catching up there. He's had a great Lesmo 2 there. I've probably run a little bit too wide, and he's right in that slipstream. Now we all remember how fast that Megane is, and they're giving away a slipstream. It's just eating us down here. So coming down, we're going to go defensive, going to hold the line as much as possible, but he's on the inside, decides to back out of it. We give him space, and that does mean we run a bit wide into the first section of it. We're not on the power where we want to be. So now going down to the Parabolica, he's going to be right under our bumper with that slipstream. I'm staying to the right because I don't want to give him the inside line, and he goes to the outside. But look at that power. He's pretty much past us before the braking zone. Hard on the brakes. This time I don't go too deep, and I managed to hold it on the apex, and that just stops APA getting back underneath us. But again, look, there's only 0.16 seconds between us going onto this straight, and we know how fast this Megane is. Again, up it comes. It's not much I can do. I can go to the inside. I'm trying to protect the line, trying to make him work as hard as possible. But we're both alongside, going into brakes. Who's going to brake later? Managed to get on the brakes very late. And nice apex through first and second part of the chicane. Now we get back down on the power. Now 0.4 of a second. Is that enough to stop APA coming back down the slipstream up into the second chicane? So we'll see. It doesn't look like it is. We can see on the radar he's catching again in this slipstream, but it's not quite there. Brake as late as I can. He comes back. I give him a bit of space, and then we're back onto the power there. And we managed to get a penalty for that as well, where I was just trying to give him a bit more space. These penalties are really racking up. So let's try and chase after Steve. The gap is 4 seconds, so we're going to fast forward it and see how much of that gap we can pull down. Okay, after a few laps of trying to catch Steve, we now opened up a gap to APA, and I'm just going to take you through my fastest lap of the race. At this point, I know it's all about I've just got to get good, fast, consistent laps. So we'll go down the straight, and we're going to brake about 125 metres, down through the gears as quick as possible to try and use the gearbox's engine braking, down to first gear, on the power, let it rev out, spin up a little bit, and then straight up into second. Now we're just going to go through the gears as quickly as possible, revving them out to their max and trying to use a line of least resistance. So trying to put as little steering input into the pad as possible, and then coming up and we're braking just where that grey access road is, down to second, try and get the middle of the car where the orange sausage curb is, through that second chicane nice and neatly, and then up to Lesmo 1, quick dab of brakes down to third. Once we can see the exit, back onto the power. up to second Lesmo, again dab the brakes, down to third, and then once we can see the exit, back on the power. Now it looks like we've caught up quite a lot during just this first part of the lap. Going down to the Ascari chicane, it's just again about keeping a nice smooth line, changing up about 140 into 6th. Now at Ascari, we're up in 6th, we're going to brake, down 3 gears, get the nose in, and then get the power back on. Short shift up to 4th to stop the understeer, and then just trace a line through those apexes out onto the back straight, and now we're heading down towards the Parabolica. Again 140 up to 6th, stay on the left hand side, we're going to brake at about 75, down to 3rd gear. Once the nose is in, get full power on as soon as possible, and then try and open up the corner as much as possible, going all the way around the outside to try and speed up that corner as much as possible. Cross the line, and that's my fastest lap of a 1:47.44, 1:54.7. Let's get it right. So we're going to speed up time now and see if we can start catching Steve up. So after a few laps, you know the gap was 4 seconds, it's now down to 1.5 seconds. So we've definitely managed to catch up Steve. As you can see, my penalty's actually grown to 20.9 seconds, and that's just from little tiny mistakes, clipping apexes a little bit too deep. My hope was just to try and catch Steve and put him under some pressure. But as you can see, we'll come out onto the back straight between Lesmo and Ascari, and we're just accelerating, and now the penalty starts going up by itself. It's going up a second each time. So as soon as I noticed that, I tried to back off, try and serve as much of this penalty as possible. We've got, what, 7 seconds between me and APA. We're going to have to use up some of that and unfortunately let Steve go and try and get this penalty down. Managed to get it back down to 15 seconds, and it's not auto going up, but that gap to Steve's gone out to 5.2 seconds, and that's destroyed our race for us. So I'm going to speed on the film all the way up until the end, and we'll see where we end up. So final lap, managed to get the penalty down to 6.7 seconds. We can serve that just before we cross the line. Unfortunately, Steve's already crossed the line, and APA comes home behind us. Only what's that, 4 seconds I think, but he had a bit of a penalty. He was getting a bit of penalty, trying to push hard to try and catch us up. But we come home second. Not great. We qualified first. I wanted to win it, but second's better than last. And we had good pace. I thought I could have put Steve under some pressure. So yeah, second place. Race 4 will be coming up on the channel the day after tomorrow. If you liked it, subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day.